Good morning. Today is March 23rd, 2025. Welcome to today's service. Our service program today will begin with Kansho, followed by the chanting of Jusege, found on page 21 of your book. And I think it will also be displayed on the screen in front of you. Please join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namandabs, Namandabs, Namandabs. Agon chosegan hishimujodo shigan humanzok seifujo shogak gao muryoko huidai seshu Husai shobingu, seifujo shogak, gashi jobundo, myosho chojippo, kukyo mishomon, 政府上小学利欲人少年上映主本業しぐ無浄土一生天人師人力現代公不傷無才道少女三苦名交際集約難回避知恵言滅死根も安閉塞小悪道通達全宗門高僧上満足いよろ実法日月集中期天候音符言一種解放像公正苦毒法上王大集中説法四子苦供養一切仏具足修徳本元年心上満徳意三害王女仏無下知津達未不詳願学エリキ都市最小村志願や国家大仙王感動国書天人とうちん妙慶ナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブがんにしくどく平等性才道法大一心往生安楽ナモ阿弥陀仏、ナモ阿弥陀仏、ナモ阿弥陀仏、ナマンダース、ナマンダース、ナマンダース。We will now have the Gatha, gentle hands. Oh, no, we'll have the Gatha at our altar.
Each morning I awake to see Amida's face so good and kind. I think he says, "Good morning, child." He's glad to start the day with me. Each night before I go to bed, I sit before our altar bright, with pretty flowers, candlelight, and incense curling round my head. I bow my head, I clasp my hands, and thank the Lord with all my might for teachings that will bring truth light to many folks in many lands.
Next, we'll have the reading of our pledge. Please join me in Gasho. Breaking out of my shell, I will share a warm smile and speak gentle words, just like the kind Buddha. Not becoming lost in my greed, anger, and ignorance, I shall think and act with an open mind, just like the calm and peaceful Buddha. Not putting myself first, I will share in the joy and sadness of others, just like the compassionate Buddha. Realizing the gift of life I have received, I shall strive to live each day to its fullest, like the Buddha who tirelessly works to liberate all. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namandabs, Namandabs, Namandabs. Thank you all again for coming, for those of you who are attending in person and those of you online. Thank you. Guess who's giving the Dharma talk today? It's me, Irene Goto. Guess I better get it out. Please join me once more in Gasho for a reading from Notes on the Inscriptions on Sacred Scrolls. When sentient beings think on Amida, just as a child thinks of its mother, they indeed see the Tathagata, who is never distant, both in the present and in the future. Such beings are like people who, imbued with incense, bear its fragrance on their bodies. May they be called those adorned with the fragrance of light. Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu. Reverend Kusunoki has been teaching lately about the articles within the Onaijin, which is the altar area of the main worship hall. Today, I'd like to talk about an article in the Gejin, the outer area or seating area of the Hondo, the main hall. At the front of the Gejin, directly in front of the altar, is the koro, or incense burner. It is the large metal container for burning incense. In our Shin Buddhist tradition, each offering of incense is placed and burned in this one burner. The opening passage that I read is from Bodhisattva Mahastama Prapta, the Bodhisattva of wisdom, or in Japanese, Seishi Bosatsu. He praises Shakyamuni Buddha for teaching the Nembutsu, Namo Amida Butsu. In turn, Shinan Shonin praises Mahastama Prapta for verifying this teaching. The part that reads, "those adorned with fragrance of light," refers to the Nembutsu which is wisdom. So Seishi Bosatsu is imbued with or adorned with the fragrance of wisdom. It is a metaphor. Since he, Seishi Bosatsu, represents wisdom, he exudes wisdom. He smells of wisdom and the Nembutsu. We sense his presence. Today, I would like to share with you my interpretation and expansion on this metaphor. Offering of incense has been traditionally associated with providing a fresh and pure scent in the home and in the temple. It contributes to an atmosphere of religious reverence. But the explanation of offering incense that I relate to most is explained in traditions of Jodo Shinshu Hongan Jiha. In it, the late Reverend Russell Hamada, formerly of Mountain View Buddhist Temple, writes, "One simile of incense is that the body is like incense itself. While the smoke of incense rises, it releases a beautiful scent from which we experience it in the air. The human body is likened to this as long as breath and life prevail. Along with flowers and food, incense is offered as a means of praising the Buddha. My body, myself, is like incense, and every body is unique. My fragrance is not incense, but an essence of some kind, a fragrance, or you might say a vibe, that is transmitted not through the air, but through my attitude, my demeanor, my words, my expression. And I do not know how far or where my fragrance drifts. Perhaps my fragrance comes from the incense of my ancestors and the world around me, perhaps from Buddhist teachers I've encountered. I recently learned that Reverend Jordan MacDonald passed away a few months ago. I did not know her well, but I remember her as a warm, confident person. She might have inspired me to pursue my education in Jodo Shinshu. Since she was a woman among all men priests in her day, she made an impression on me. Her fragrance reached me without my awareness. Amida Buddha has allowed me this realization, this awareness. I enjoy offering incense because it requires action by me. I light the candle, I light the charcoal, I lay the charcoal on the ash that's been left by many who previously offered incense. I take a pinch of granular incense and place it on the glowing embers of the charcoal. The fragrance bursts forth in a thin plume of smoke that drifts away. Its scent reaches the corners of the room and beyond. Together, the candles flame, the incense burner, the lit charcoal, and the granular incense with the air and the surrounding ash contained in the incense burner allow not only me, but each of us to experience the fragrance that I've contributed to. By offering incense, I alone am not making an offering to Amida Buddha, but I am making it together with others to produce one fragrance. I view it as a cooperative practice by the Sangha to praise Amida Buddha, to thank Amida for this moment, this opportunity, this life. In my daily life, I use my fragrance to attract dogs. On my walks, I encounter dogs and their people. Dogs make me smile. This meeting is like the granular incense placed on the glowing charcoal. Dogs look so happy going on their walks with their wagging tails, their gingerly trots, their swaying butts, and even their smiles. Their quick glances up at their people and at me, just to make sure I'm not a threat. If I smile at them, the dog notices and wants to come and greet me. The dog likes my fragrance. My fragrance bursts forth in a smile. And eye contact and smiles work with people too. One time in my bygone days, after I ran around Green Lake, I stopped at PCC, and the lady behind me in the checkout line started talking to me. I saw you running around Green Lake just now, and it was so great to see you smiling. I was amazed. I didn't tell her that I was smiling at the dogs. I recently had a similar encounter with a person in my neighborhood. A woman that I'd encountered several times on our dog walks asked me if I wanted to exchange phone numbers and that maybe we could walk together sometime. And that happened. We texted each other, walked together, and had tea at her house with another woman in the neighborhood. Each of us must have had or given off a special fragrance to each other to offer and accept such an out-of-the-blue invitation like that. Was it the smiles, the eye contact, some other feeling or vibe? Yes, eye contact is another part of my body's fragrance. A niece reminded me of this when she and her children visited us. As she and her 7-year-old son were leaving and saying goodbye, she reminded him, "Now make eye contact." That eye contact makes a lasting impression on both sets of eyes, on the givers and the receivers of the contact. I feel that I can praise Amida by my fragrance, smiling, saying good morning, saying, "Have we met?" to new faces. I don't think I have the wisdom of the Nembutsu like Mahastama or Seishi Bosatsu, but I can praise Amida Buddha by my demeanor, expression, countenance, and in doing so, perhaps others may feel embraced by Amida's compassion. And in offering incense, I realize that the fragrance produced is not only my offering, but the offering of others who contribute to the fragrance and the scent of the one fragrance. Even if different types of incense is burned, in its smoke, the scent, the fragrance is one. This is similar to the one taste of the ocean when the waters of many rivers enter it. Although each of us is unique, have different fragrances, we are all human. Maybe I can say I have the fragrance of the imperfect human. I consider myself a shy and reserved person, not outgoing at all. But I become less intimidated in meeting new people or new situations when I remember that I am no less or no greater than the next person. I am part of the human fragrance. The incense burner is a platform for offering incense to Amida Buddha. It reminds me that I am like the incense that burns. My body, myself, gives off fragrance that reaches beyond the immediate surroundings and affects others, even those who are unknown to me. The effects are not immediately nor apparent, but they are not effects immediately apparent. But when I do realize the effects, that realization must be the working of Amida Buddha. Inconceivable, immeasurable, how grateful I am. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you for listening to my interpretation and expansion of the metaphor of incense and the fragrance of light. If you would like to know how to offer incense, please let me know, and I am happy to show you. Please join me in Gassho for the reading on Mahastama Prapta or Seishi Bosatsu once more. When sentient beings think on Amida, just as a child thinks of its mother, they indeed see the Tathagata, who is never distant, both in the present and in the future. Such beings are like people who, imbued with the incense, bear its fragrance on their bodies. They may be called those adorned with the fragrance of light. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you for listening. We'll have the Gatha say Namo Amida Butsu.
When I'm feeling blue in the morning and things go astray in the day, I feel your bright light shining true. Say Namo Amida Butsu. When I'm walking through the forest, there's a quietness I can feel. Nature surrounds me and your spirit too. Say Namo Amida Butsu. Dark clouds sometimes fill the sky. Sometimes I just don't know why, but your wisdom always shelters me from the storm. Don't you see? When I feel alone and uncertain, there is somewhere I can always be. A pathway I can follow, I simply follow you. Say Namo Amida Butsu. A pathway I can follow, I simply follow you. Say Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
Thank you all for attending again today. It's nice to see so many of you. And do we have any public announcements at this time?
Good morning, Kemi Nakabayashi from the music department. Thank you, Reverend Irene. I'm sorry we switched the Gatha video on you, but I think it was suitable for your excellent talk. And want to let you know that at our altar was made during COVID, and we have Naho Umitani here. She was part of that group of us. And on clarinet, you might not have recognized, but Zora Ueda Hale was one of the featured speakers during that National Council closing program video, if you can go back and watch it. So she, in high school with Naho and Ellie Mizushima, did that video. So thank you, Naho. I also wanted to, at this point, really push the publicity that's going to go out shortly on the events of April 19th and April 20th. We have Reverend Harry Bridge from the Buddhist Church of Oakland coming as guest speaker and musician for the weekend, along with Miharu Okamura and Miko Shudo. The Saturday evening program will require registration to help us with the head count for the catered food. There's a reduced registration price for middle school, high school, college students, and under middle school age is free, but we do need the registration for all of you and hope to have a really fun event. Miko and Miharu, you probably know they're a duo, Koha. They met in college, but they now live distant from each other, but are part of the Bombu Stories group that we commissioned for the BCA Bonadori Song and Dance Lantern Song. So we'll be doing the Lantern Song Saturday evening, as well as after the Earth Day music service on Sunday, April 20th, as part of the after service program. So hope you have those dates on your calendar and you can come and enjoy. We really are striving for a multi-generational audience for both days. Thank you.
If there are no further public announcements, this concludes our service today. Please join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namandabs, Namandabs, Namandabs.